Here's another pair of Salomon, the RX Mach 3, and this comes in the basically like I think they call it forest grey and pear and plum colourway, which is quite nice actually. For even though it's got kind of the wintry colours, I personally wouldn't be sort of wearing these in the winter time. They're more kind of, I think they're good for sort of recovery, I suppose, and good for sort of if you're doing sort of outdoor activities and kind of want something to kind of slip into and sort of easy to wear versus wearing sort of big sort of heavy shoes or trainers depending on the activity that you're doing. So this is a good pair to have for recovery purposes. And what I like about this is the outsole is really cool. It's got kind of this sort of tank like structure to it going on, so it's got all these little gaps in here, and that kind of just allows for sort of flexibility. And so when you're walking, you get a bit more kind of springiness from it as well. So I think what they call the rebound system. So similar to sort of a fuel cell basically. And the outsole is really nice on these as well. They have good grip, and I kind of like what Salomon do in general. I think my only thing with these is the flexibility doesn't seem that great at first. As you can sort of see, it's not that pliable, but I think when you kind of start wearing it, it kind of does sort of settle in. And I also like the fact that they've got a nice toe box here as well, so it kind of stops it from getting dirty. So you've got this kind of mud guard here, and just an easier to sort of slip on and wear pair really. So it's good for, like I said, recovery, any kind of sort of gym activity afterwards. You kind of slip these on, and I'd probably wear them more for the summertime really, because they've got a thin sort of mesh material. So here are the details for the Salomon RX Mach 3.0 Feather Grey. It comes in a Feather Grey, Plum Kitten, Winter Pear and Black colourway, and it has a EVA sole, and it's the upper is made up of all synthetic materials, and the price is £80. So in terms of comfort and sizing, I think these have a firm sole in my opinion, and the comfortability comes more from the insole. But it has a good arch support because it's slightly sort of on the flatter side, but it's basically meant as a recovery slide, so there is support there. And there's no wearing time with these because it's got a stretchy mesh upper, so it kind of just sort of molds around your foot. And you can go true to size on these, there shouldn't be any issues because it's just a kind of, like I said, a stretchy mesh upper. It's fine, you'll kind of work it out. And I feel like these have good enough grip. They're not like amazing, but it'll be enough for like the spring summertime. So in terms of the look and style, I like this simple design. I like the fact that it's just a kind of easy sort of slip-on shoe. And also it's got kind of neutral colour palette, so in terms of it being kind of more the wintry side, so just kind of the greys really. And I also like the fact that you can kind of wear these sort of springtime and summertime. And you can also just, if you're sort of doing kind of any kind of activity, use them as sort of recovery shoes. And you can go sort of casual with these really. I wouldn't really dress so much smart casual. So the final thoughts, I think the pros are, it's like a minimalist design, so it's like a slip-on shoe, and it's very easy to kind of get on and off because of the loops around it. And it feels really comfortable, so that's including the upper because of it being a sort of stretchy mesh material, but also the insole provides sort of nice sort of comfort. And even though it kind of feels a bit sort of neutral on foot and there isn't sort of any sort of major cushioning, it does feel nice on foot though still. And basically the sole itself, even though it doesn't feel like it's very flexible, it does have kind of rebound properties in there, so it means that you move faster from your heel to your forefoot. And they're good for sort of recovery sort of wear really, so if you're doing any kind of really sort of strong activities, and you just slip these on afterwards and basically your feet more to a neutral type stance. And they're lightweight as well, they're very very lightweight, so they don't have too much material on them, and the outsole isn't that thick either. So in terms of cons, I think the cost is £80, which I think is probably slightly a bit too high. I think if they lower the price a bit, it would be good. But in terms of the ratings, I think the look and style, I think they're quite nice actually. For a mock, they're one of the nicer ones, and also good for sort of spring summertime, so because they're lightweight. And the comfort is really good as well. Like comparing it to sort of other sort of mocks and things like that, I think this one is a lot nicer, but I think the majority of that comes from the insole itself. And the quality, yeah, I think all of sort of Salomon products, I've never found them to have sort of any issues, even though the materials feel slightly on the cheaper side. It doesn't kind of reflect too badly on the shoe itself. And the pricing, I give that a 4 as well. It's just priced slightly too high. I think they lower the price and they'll sort of be in a better position. But overall, I'll give it a 4 out of 5. I think it's a nice shoe, and it's probably one to sort of basically wear after recovery, or just sort of slip on during the sort of hot months in the spring, summertime.